And watching. Oh my god, actually can't even function. Hey Glam Squad, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be playing around with some Makeup Revolution products, and the star of the show is going to be the Rachel Leary palette, or Rachel Leary palette. And this is beautiful, it's really unique. I got this palette before Christmas and I just fell in love with all the the peach tones and the pinks and like all the warm spring shades, and I just thought it would be perfect for this time of year coming into spring. I think these colours are just so super beautiful, and I love the fact that you have your bronzers and your blushes and your highlights as well in one, which I didn't realise till halfway through the video actually. But yeah, this palette is super beautiful and I just love Makeup Revolution these days. I didn't in the beginning, but now I'm actually loving their products. I just think they're getting better and better and better, and they're actually better than a lot of high-end products on the market, so happy days. So today I am going to be creating this look with this palette, and also just going to be finishing off the rest of my face with Makeup Revolution as well, talking through some of the products that I've got, some products that are new and some products that are old, and my thoughts on them. If you'd like to see how I created this look, then do keep watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give it a nice thumbs up, and leave a comment below as well. I love connecting with you guys. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think of the Makeup Revolution products. Have you got this palette? Have you got any requests, anything that you'd like me to do over the next couple of weeks? I'm all yours. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start off by using the P. Louise base. This is one of my all-time favorite bases. It's a little bit different to using like a primer or a concealer and powder. It's a little bit more tacky and it's a thicker formula, but it's amazing for really making your eyeshadows pop. So if you're looking for something a little bit more dramatic, then I'd recommend those primers. I just want to pop it on using this brush. This is the Revoluna in R14, and I'm just going to start packing it on. So you don't really want to blend this too much. It's kind of just a case of like tapping it onto your lid. So you really want a good amount of coverage with this. As you can see, this palette is really beautiful. I really wanted to make the most of like the warm shades in it, and you know, it's coming into spring now, so I thought it'd be really cool to bring out some of the pinks and kind of the sunset shades. So I stuck with a lot of like oranges and pinks and golds for this look. So I'm starting off with Passion Fruit Martini, and I'm using this shade right across the crease of the eye. So I didn't apply any powder or anything on top of the P. Louise base. It's meant to be quite a tacky primer, so you're not meant to put powder on top of it. It's to help the eyeshadows kind of adhere to the primer, and it just makes them pop. So it works a little bit differently than your normal eyeshadow bases or your primers. So I'm just blending this back and forth the crease of the eye. And once everything is in place, I just like to dust it upwards. Don't be afraid of it. This is a beautiful transition shade, and you want to use like a fluffy blending brush like this. This is one from Blank Canvas. It's the E20. I'm going into Rosé now with a smaller, kind of more compact blending brush, and this I want to go right into the crease of the eye. So you don't want to blend it up too much. This color I want to be kind of mainly focused right into the crease. You can kind of see like the shadows, I want them to slowly kind of gradually fade out. So it's going to be like your darker colors and then your lighter colors kind of fading upwards, like a gradual effect. Once you have the color in place, you can go back with your blending brush again and just kind of buff out any harsh edges. And that's why I love this brush as well. You can go back throughout the whole look and clean up any harsh lines, and you can also bring the color right down to the lower lash line. So don't be afraid of it. You know, this is going to be like a really blown out look, and the colors are not too dark. Like if you were working with browns and blacks, you might want to be a little bit more precise with it, but these colors are so soft and beautiful that you don't have to, you know, worry too much about being too messy. Just blend it from your crease here right underneath, and you can go back and clean up any mistakes you made afterwards, and this is why I love doing my eye makeup first. Years ago people thought I was crazy when I was doing my eye makeup before my foundation, but I actually couldn't do it any other way. You can clean up any fallout, and it just ensures that your finished look is like clean and flawless, and you can go back and fix up any mistakes that you made. I'm just going to go into Baby Girl, which is a nice soft pink, and I'm going to pop this again right into the crease of the eye, right on top of Rosé, but not as high up. And this is just going to deepen the Rosé shade just a tiny bit and really kind of bring the pinks into the look. I'm just going to take a little bit of Oh Honey, which is kind of a warm yellowy shade, and I'm just going to blend this very lightly on top of the very first shade we used, which was Passion Fruit Martini, like so. And now for the fun bit, I'm going to cut the crease. So I'm using the Revolution Conceal and Correct, and this is in the shade White. I'm just going to apply this right on the lid. So I'm just going to start right on the center of the lid and kind of get rid of most of the colour before I get into the crease work, because you really need to be precise with it. I'm just taking the E16 brush from Blank Canvas Cosmetics and flipping this again kind of upwards like this. I'm just going to very softly go around the edges, so it's just going to give you that cut crease. Then I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush and Kisses, which is that gorgeous pinky purple shimmery shade, and I'm going to start packing this onto the lid. Now you can use it wet if you want for a little bit more pigment, but I'm just going to use it dry. I think there's enough pigment with the white base underneath, but it's totally up to yourself. Then I'm going to flip the brush upwards, and I'm just going to bring it right into the crease, just leaving a little bit of the white above, because this is where I'm going to be putting a little bit of glitter, so you don't have to worry about this too much. So now I'm just going to pop a little bit of glitter into the crease of the eye. So I'm going to be taking this glitter eyeshadow from Be Perfect Cosmetics. You can see the wand on this is too thick because obviously it's made as an eyeshadow. I'm just going to take a little bit of the glitter eyeshadow onto this teeny tiny little eyeliner brush. This will help me just get a little bit more precise with it. You just want to look down into a mirror, and then I'm just going to very lightly start applying the eyeshadow. So you're basically just applying it around the white area. Just try and be as precise as you can. I actually struggle a little bit with this part myself. So I'm just going to pop on my lashes. Just going to apply a little bit of the pink eyeshadow on the lower lash line, and then I'm going to add some mascara, and then I'll move on to the face. Okay, so moving on to the face, I'm going to be using the Revolution baking oil. I'm not quite sure why it's called baking oil, but it is an amazing primer. It's really great for dry skin. If you have dry skin, you're going to love this. It's a really nice lightweight oil that you put on before your foundation. It just gives your foundation something to adhere to and gives it a gorgeous glow from within. I'm using the Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I know this has mixed reviews. I know people either love it or hate it. I don't really have an opinion on it just yet. I've only used it once, and that one time my skin looked flawless afterwards, but I didn't really leave it on long enough. It was just for a tutorial. Can't really give a review on it, but I'm going to use it today and see how I get on with it. I do love that it comes with a wand, which is great for personal use. Not so much if you're a makeup artist, if you're working on clients. It's not very hygienic, but it's great for personal use. You can just pop like an X on your cheek and then just get your brush and buff it out. So it's a lot cleaner than putting it on the back of your hand. don't know how this is going to look when it's done. Compared to my neck, my face looks really white, so I'm a little bit concerned. But last time I used it, this is F4, so it's quite a warm shade, and it looked fine last time I used it, but now it's looking very white, so this is a bit concerning, to be honest. I'm going to be piling on the bronzer later. I'm going to be using the concealer in shade C2. This is from the same collection, and I just like to pop this right under my eyes in a V shape, and then just a little bit in the center of my face, just to kind of draw light to those areas. We're just going to take a teeny weeny little bit of the lace powder thing. I'm just going to pop a little bit into the cap. And I really don't like to use a lot of powder. I have quite dry skin, so I've noticed over the years I've just used less and less powder. And this is quite a full coverage foundation as well. So I find with full coverage foundations they can be a little bit powdery on me. So I definitely think the less product I can put on, the better, the less powder product. So I am just going to put a little bit around the oilier areas, which would be my T-zone. And then I'm going to use a setting spray to set the rest of my makeup, and I think that's enough for me. I'm going to need me all the bronzing I can get, so I'm going to use this Mega Bronzer in 02 Warm. Again, I've only used this once, so I can't really say if I love it or not, but I know I did love the tone on it. So again, I'm just going to pop a little bit here on the top of the ear. And we're just going to start buffing it upwards, not downwards. That's the mistake I made in my last video with the Primark haul challenge thing. I was buffing the bronzer down too much. So, I mean, you can clean it up with a bit of concealer. It's not a big deal, but it just saves you a bit of time if you apply it correctly the first time. One thing I will say about the foundation, just as a first impressions, is that it is sinking into the fine lines of my forehead, and also the fact that it's lighter than I would normally go for is kind of throwing me off. Like all I can see now in the viewfinder is that my neck is a million times darker than my face. I've also just realized that there's bronzers in this palette, so I'm actually going to go into the lighter bronzer shade, and I'm just going to go around outer areas of my face just to kind of fade out the darker bronzer a little bit better, because I find the darker bronzer is too harsh against the lighter foundation. So using a lighter bronzer will just make it look a little bit more natural. There's nothing natural about this look, but you know what I mean. So this is more like bronzing the skin than contouring. So I'm just kind of going around the contour and then like softening it out a little bit, so it's making it look a little bit less chiseled, more natural, more sun-kissed. I'm going to make sure I get my ears and down my neck so it doesn't look, you know, my face, because my foundation is too light. It's not going to be like face, neck. It's all going to blend into one, which is what we want. It's a good trick if you do ever have a foundation that's too light for you. Or if you have droppers. Droppers are amazing. I know the Body Shop do them. I think Makeup Revolution actually do them. I've seen them in Primark as well. And you just put the droppers. You can get light white droppers, or you can get brown droppers, and you can put it into your foundation to either make them lighter or darker, which is pretty awesome idea. And for highlight, I'm going to be using Glaze, which is a gorgeous, well, it looks like a white highlight, but when you put it on it's actually quite gold toned. I also use this in the inner corner of my eye, so I just thought this shade would tie the look together, and I'm using the Revoluna brush in or 04. I really liked these brushes and the colours are so pretty. For the inner corner of the eye, I'm just going to use a little bit of that glazed just to really make that pop. And then for the waterline, I'm using the Benefit Roller Lash Eyebright, which is basically just a flesh coloured, or a nude coloured liner that you're just going to pop here on the lower lash line. That's just really going to make the eyes pop. I thought that would be much nicer than using a black eyeliner. And then lastly, we're going to finish off with some lippy. I'm going to be using these two shades purely because they're the only lipsticks I have from Revolution, which is very sad. I'm going to be using Vow and Expose. So Vow is like a darker shade of nude, and Expose is just kind of like a warmer shade, but I find, or a lighter shade even, I find that Expose is a little bit too nude on its own, so I like to wear both of them together. I think they're really nice. And then I'm going to finish off with a bit of setting spray. This is the Pro Fix Illuminating Fixing Spray. This I actually really like. I just feel like it gives my skin a nice glow. It smells really weird actually. I can't explain the smell, but it's really nice. I really like it. I like myself a good illuminating setting spray. I just feel like because I don't use a lot of powders and stuff, I need this to finish off the look, to set all the powders in place, and give myself a luminous glow from within. So I've been filming for 5 hours and I have lost the ability to talk. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.